To start with a story that has happened to the Public Service Commission in recent times. The Public Service Commission deals with Batho. We will see the heading there is talking about umahluko, indima, nobuntu emsebenzini. We try and deal, we are a Chapter 10 institution that is trying to deal with the delivery of something that you can't see. When South Africans talk about service delivery, they often want to see the clinic. They talk about things that are concrete. They forget the service part of it. The Public Service Commission was created to talk about certain things that are in the Constitution that bind public servants to deliver Batho emsebenzini. That is why we are called the Public Service Commission. And we deal with all departments. Put aside that some other departments want to shoot me for an over attention on this department, but we deal with all departments. Now, we have been worried because of what we have been seeing in the form of life esidimeni, in the form of ESCOMs collapsing or issues happening related to corruption, a whole lot of things that are unsavory in our name as the democratic government. We have been worried. And so we have done a revival of this thing that we call it. We sat together, put our heads together and said, why is Batho Pele not working? Why is service quality not a deliverable in South Africa? What have we done wrong as a country? And we have decided to go to the Constitution and unpack all of those instructions of the Constitution, we call them constitutional values and principles, to all the sectors in South Africa. And we meet EXCOs because this is who must ensure that professional ethics happens. MENCOs, MINMEX, and we are trying to revive this. And so when we launched this revival campaign on Ubuntu and umahluko, indima, efficiency, and all of these things, we called some stakeholders together in Pretoria, and we went all into town about all of these things that are not happening well, and then what the Constitution says, and even how to revive, and that we needed the partnership of management to be worried about the quality of service. At the end of all of that talk, a key stakeholder of South Africa, the Statistician General, raises his hand during discussion time. And he says, wow, dear Public Service Commission, good luck. And we are taken aback by this. He says, today I'm not rising with statistics, the sort of stuff that supports Mngoni in all of the graphs that you're looking at here. Today I'm not rising with statistics. I'm not going to tell you about the percentage of this that's happening in what province and all of that. I just want to say good luck. The slice of work that you have before you is the most difficult, especially because we are working with public servants. He says, I mix with a lot of people in rural and urban areas, but especially in rural areas. People are despondent, they have lost hope. How are you going to do this? He says, let me tell you what my suspicion is about these people that you are hoping to change. Ngoba mina nizokhuluma nonembeza. Anizokhuluma ukuthi mjovo omngaki, nizokhuluma nonembeza. Let me tell you something. You are talking about public servants, the people who have protected themselves from their own inefficiencies. You are talking about people who have medical aid schemes to protect themselves from the workspaces where they work. You are talking to people who can afford to choose a school, even if it's a public school that they like, transport their kids to that school, or even a private school, because they are protecting themselves from the disasters that they are causing in the public facilities. You have a structural problem, Public Service Commission, of people who have insulated themselves because they are middle class and they do not want to bind themselves to the service where they are not doing things right. Good luck. So I come here with my head hanged down to try and ask whether this is true. Whether the sector that I represent is protected from its own efficiencies. There was an insinuation at that gathering that what they do, and this day is referring to the public servant, is tantamount to the way that they treat people, is tantamount to how you treat cattle going to a dipping tank. There was an insinuation in that gathering that says that the manner in which we brand poor people, and we overemphasize poor people in documents of planning, we don't see their feelings, we just see poverty. That we blind the feelings because people are poor, we plan for them and we don't ask them how they feel. I really am saying going to town with all of this story because it was a shock to us to be told like that, and I would rather decentralize the shock to all of you. Okay, that's the context, and please feel free to contest and feel free to take this message, go and look at your own facilities and see when people are lax, when people are not providing in Batho, even if the system owes you resources. Because some of the confessions that were said here are that awukho umndeni ohlala unotho sonke isikhathi uyaqataniswa kodwa impatho iyatholakala. Please take this message and go and review your facilities in the light of this accusation about us in the manner in which we treat our people.